How much money do you really need to buy a home in 2026? One of the most common questions I get from buyers in the Louisville area is how much money do I actually need to buy a home? And most people are shocked by the answer because it's not just the down payment. There are closing costs. There are inspections. There are deposits. And there are prepaid items. Hi everyone, I'm David Hittle, doing business as Shop Kentucky Homes LLC, your real estate specialist with United Real Estate Louisville. And today I'm going to break down exactly how much money you really need to buy a home, what goes where, and how to plan ahead so you are not surprised right before closing. The down payment, what most people focus on. We'll start there with the part everyone talks about, the down payment. So depending on the loan program you use, your down payment might be 3%. It might be 3.5%. It could be 5%, could be 10%, or it could be more. Sometimes it could be 0% because programs like VA loans or USDA rural loans can allow no down payment at all. But here is the important part. The down payment is only one piece of the total cash that you will need. And for many buyers, it's not even the biggest one. Closing costs, the part that surprises buyers. Closing costs are the fees and the prepaid items required to finalize the purchase. These usually include things like lender fees, title insurance, attorney or closing services, recording fees, prepaid taxes, and insurance. In the Louisville area, closing costs often fall somewhere in the range of about 2 to 3% of the purchase price, depending on the loan, depending on the lender, and depending on the transaction. So this is the part many buyers forget to plan for. And this is also where seller credits sometimes come into play, which I will explain in a moment. Inspections, appraisal, and deposit. Before you ever even get to closing, there are a few upfront costs that buyers usually pay during the process. These costs often include a home inspection, a radon test or a termite inspection if needed, and sometimes an appraisal, depending on the loan. These costs usually happen within the first couple of weeks after you go under contract. They are not huge compared to the purchase price, but they are out-of-pocket expenses that you should plan for. Earnest money or your good faith deposit. When you make an offer, you'll usually have to submit an earnest money deposit. This is a deposit that shows the seller that you're serious about buying their home. It's held by the closing company and is later applied towards your closing costs or your down payment. It's not an extra cost. It's just part of the money you are already planning to bring to closing, just paid earlier in the process. So can sellers help with your closing costs? Yes, sometimes. In many transactions, buyers negotiate for the seller to contribute towards some of their closing costs. This is called a seller concession or seller credit. How much is allowed depends on your loan type, your purchase price, and what the seller will agree to. In certain situations, this can significantly reduce how much cash you need to bring to closing. This is where strategy and where having the right real estate specialist and lender working together can make a big difference. The real answer, what should you plan for? Instead of focusing on just one number, I usually recommend buyers plan for 3 buckets of money: your down payment, your closing costs, and your upfront inspection and deposit money. As a rough estimate, many buyers in the Louisville area are prepared somewhere around 5 to 8% of the purchase price total. Sometimes less, sometimes more, but the exact number depends entirely on your loan, on your price range, and on your strategy. My closing thoughts here. Buying a home doesn't always require as much money as people think, but you do need a clear plan. The worst feeling as a buyer is finding the perfect home and realizing you are not financially ready to move forward. A quick and easy conversation with a lender and an agent early on can save you months of frustration and missed opportunities. So if you're thinking about buying a home in the Louisville area and you want a personalized estimate of what your real numbers might look like, I am always happy to help. I am David Hittle, your real estate specialist doing business as Shop Kentucky Homes LLC with United Real Estate Louisville, and you can reach me at 502-489-1135 or visit me at shopkentuckyhomes.com. And as always, if this video was helpful, please make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe over in the right-hand corner, and I will see you in my next video.